He is no stranger to Silicon Valley, having held a number of different positions in the tech world, including as CEO of Identiv, and involved in robotics, and knows a lot about technology. So welcome. Come on down, Steve.
There we go. Thanks, Matt, while they're bringing that up. And thank you all at the TLPA for, at the IATR. I was at the TLPA just a couple of weeks ago. At the IATR, for letting us address this important topic, because we actually were talking about the same topic with a similar app committee at the TLPA a couple of weeks ago that I'm sure Bill will discuss. I'll also be as brief as I can, because I know we've had a fairly long morning already, so I only have three slides here, so I'll stay in the 5 minutes, I promise. As Matt mentioned, this is an industry which is really built on a lot of good, hardworking people. This industry delivers several million hired rides a day in the US, every day, tens of millions of hired rides worldwide, and that's what we're building on. We're building on a great group of people, drivers, organizations, and regulators and administrators that make the industry work. And we're trying to help them be more effective as well. Now, we do that by providing what's now become a pretty well-known approach, which is an app that has real-time, all the cars available on it in your area within a logical hailing distance. And then we allow you to deploy either your own dispatch system or one that we can deploy for you if you have a very small organization. And that then goes into completing the hail. And it complies with all the regulations, very low cost, easy to deploy. We've got it deployed in fleets as small as 5 cars. It's all remote deployment. We just do telesales. You can implement it and off you go. Or if you have your own dispatch system, we can integrate with that also remotely, deploy the system, and off you go as well. What's important about all of this is it's integrated through licensed, certified fleets, as you've heard from a number of the speakers already, and it's leveraging the technology curves that are already growing. So what's the most important message here is compliance solutions are already here. It's regulatorily compliant. One of the important things that Matt talked about with meter integration, having a registered device that's telling you how much you're going to pay. And right over here in one of our demos, we have it showing a very cool Android device, but it's being fed by the regulated taximeter. And that's what puts the fare up there. Any extras, those are the only numbers that go into the Droid tablet. And it's very important that we use cutting-edge technology, but we connect it with the regulated infrastructure, and you can have the best of both worlds. Now, I think what's really important is technology, when it's deployed properly, really should create expanded opportunities. It shouldn't force trade-offs. You know, as Matt said, I've done a number of other technology companies, and this is a guiding principle for me whenever we implement a company and implement the technology. Are we making it a win-win all across the board? You know, so for example, at Cabulous, when we knew that customers wanted to call drivers and drivers customers, that's become very conventional in the experience. You've got to be able to have communication go. But we decided that a lot of customers don't want to call a driver and have their caller ID on that driver's phone. And actually vice versa. We got a lot of feedback that drivers don't really want to have their caller ID on every customer's phone that gets in their car. So we took these criteria and implemented a system whereby the customer's going to call is going to look exactly like a cell phone call. They're going to hit their phone, but what it does is it goes to a server, and that server dials out to both phones. So neither the customer nor the driver has a phone exposed to them, phone number, but they have a completely smooth experience. And in the case of the driver, we also don't want drivers taking all these calls on their personal phones, so it rings right on the in-car device, right through a UI that says, call my passenger, and it dials them both up. So you can take the criteria and create a win-win solution that is completely transparent to the passenger and fits in the driver's environment. And I think that's the kind of criteria that we need to implement. And so technology can come up with the answers that we need. It already is in a lot of cases. From a regulatory perspective, I think what's very important is make it clear and consistent. Make sure that there's open access, so we all have a level playing field out there. Focus on outcomes. tell us what we're trying to accomplish out there, and the technology can deliver what we're trying to accomplish. It's much harder if you start saying, how are you going to do it? Because it's going to be a different answer every month, every year, that's for sure. Set the safety and protection requirements, and then let all of us duke it out in the streets. That's how the system works. That's how consumers get served the best possible. In fact, one of my competitors was talking to me last night and said, we're just going to beat you in the streets. And I said, that's exactly what we should be doing. So the regulations hopefully will set the right parameters that we can all understand and work within, and then we can duke it out. And so as a result, I think we can really deliver the goals we all want: safety, convenience, access, choice, fairness, and easy adoption. Because it's one thing to say what the solution is, it's also got to be economically rational for fleets and drivers and consumers to adopt it. It's easy on the app side. We've got to make sure that it's easy and cost-effective on the driver and fleet side as well. And we think that the solution we have obviously does that. It uses existing infrastructure, or it has a very low-cost web-based infrastructure that you can deploy. We've got it up and running in several thousand cars, over 24 cities in the US and internationally. And we're doing hundreds of thousands of rides every month. So the systems are out there and working. This group, I think, is leading a very important charge to set the framework within which we can all operate and we can compete. And as technology does things that we can't even conceive of right now, set a framework that we can keep applying that technology and don't have to keep going back to the well to figure out the parameters in which to apply it, or have to change the regulations. As Matt said, the way to do it is set the right laws. But that takes a little bit of time, so we have to make sure that it's set in a framework that those laws can endure over some period of time and through technology cycles. So I think I stayed within my time. Thank you.